SGA once again. Little hesitation. The left hand. What a move by SGA.
Another block. Chet Holmgren, the long arm of the law.
Back in the game. Those are key minutes without SGA. And another drive. J. Dom cocks it back and throws it down.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested podcast, and may the 4th be with you all.
It's a lot better than your intro yesterday,
Wait,
Jacob.
I think Justin just did
Star
Spock,
Trek.
and I
That's
think
the
JD
joke.
was throwing up a set.
I think that was just a 4.
It's just a 4.
Oh, I thought JD was flashing gang signs.
No.
Welcome to the Uncontested podcast. We are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and the homies over at Prairie Artisan Ales. If I'm not mistaken, I think I just saw Nick Crane drinking a Prairie beer.
Patches, baby.
Patches. That's what I had last night.
So
Tonight,
good.
however.
Oh, that was
Whoa.
crispy AF.
That was crispy. This is a caramel apple treat tonight.
It's got a similar pattern to the patches. I thought, sneaky thought you were drinking a patches over there, but you're not.
Beautiful. Well, I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. I got the dude, JD Silva, with me.
Fellas.
We got Justin Peabody,
Hello, everybody.
Taylor Peterson, TP.
Full group pod.
We got Nick Crane.
Howdy.
Nick Crane with the normal microphone in a permanent podcasting place.
Love that for
The
you.
He's got a
PPP.
desk. He's got updated Wi-Fi. The PPP.
Moved out of the
I should have
Sims
said I'm your host, Alex Caruso.
As you should. For those not watching the stream, Jacob's rocking the headband tonight, and he could fool me.
It's looking good.
Jacob, do
ready
you
for
like
tomorrow.
Trader Joe's?
Yes. Apparently,
Noted.
Homeboy bought Trader O's, which are like Cheerios,
Ah,
and some milk.
he's just
No.
like me for real.
That's what I said.
Sources tell the uncontested.
That's the hard-hitting reporting you were
yep.
hoping for in this show.
Hey, we are going to preview round 2, Thunder versus Denver Nuggets. If you guys got questions, comments, thoughts, predictions, drop them in the chat. Our guy Justin is going to be monitoring that all night for you all. We're going to get that stuff up here on the screen. We'll talk about it. We did a preview pod last night on Saturday. If you have not checked that out yet, I would suggest you go do it. You know who has checked it out? The Nuggets fans.
That they have.
And they told me in the comments that Christian Brown is going to guard SGA in this series. And my response was Thunder in 4.
Good luck.
That little white
Good
man is going to
luck.
get cooked like a hot dog in a microwave.
He
Put
had
every
some
25
moments
minutes.
against Harden.
I
Shai
congratulations.
Gilgeous-Alexander is not James Harden in the year of our
Exactly.
Lord 2025.
All right. Hey, if you haven't already, join our Patreon. It is a wonderful, wonderful place to be until the Thunder are losing a basketball game. Then it's a very toxic place to be, but you'll enjoy it regardless.
We haven't experienced that in a while, though.
Knock on wood.
True. Knock on.
So join the Patreon, get in the Discord. Lots of awesome stuff happening over at the Patreon, including virtual watch parties, additional podcasts, all this great stuff. You can also find us on your favorite social media channels. And I would encourage you to sign up to our YouTube, as you can catch us live after every Thunder playoff game. That means, boys, tomorrow, about 11 p.m., you will
So
be able to
close.
watch us recap game 1. We'll be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, probably Sunday night because it's Mother's Day. I think I said this last night, but as far as I know, everyone on this pod's mother is still around. So we will be celebrating Mother's Day, and we will catch you at night on that one.
What if one of us, what if you just didn't know and one of us just,
Silva's like, my
secret
mom is
dead
actually
mom.
dead.
what,
As of this morning.
what a way to find
Who
out.
knew?
That would be.
Yep. Hey, they've got a week. They've
Come
got a
on,
week.
man.
And then
Hang on.
Justin also has a wife who's a mom. Nick has a wife who might be a mom. Soon. Well, not might be mom. She'll be a mom soon.
What weird phrasing.
Yeah, sorry.
Might be
We
a
should
mom.
not talk about this anymore.
Taylor's got a baby mama.
Train is on the rails.
And I think JD's got like 4 baby mamas that he's probably
That's
unaware
right.
of.
JD is the
Oh my
Aunt
God.
Edwards of the pod. In,
Oh
in
wow.
so many ways.
Send
You
a
guys see
video.
that stat that like every single horse
Bring
in the
your
Kentucky Derby
ass.
this year is a
What's crazy is that people are
descendant
gonna
of
believe you.
Secretary-
People will believe you because you said that. And that'll be just
People
As
don't
they
believe
should.
anything Jacob says, nor should they.
Silva, can we get the Riz sounder?
yes.
Thank you.
You're right, George. I am a cat dad.
There you go.
Love it. Can I get another sound drop?
Yes.
Better learn Chinese, buddy.
I don't even remember saying that.
With all this AI deepfake stuff, that you may not have.
Give it. We don't get Nick sounders very often. Give me a Nick one, then we'll start the show.
In the multiverse.
Why is it so echoey?
That was a
That's an audio
It was off
message.
his phone.
When
It was an
I-
audio
when I
message.
randomly send you guys messages.
Oh,
audio
yes,
messages,
I remember that.
Give us another one.
big
The
boy.
doo-doo boys.
Doo-doo boys. That's a good one. We haven't used that in a while.
Uh,
The doo-doo
Hey.
boys are playing right now.
who are the doo-doo boys,
I
Nick?
think that was reference to like Jalen Green and Alperen Schengen.
I
love it. I love it.
That's even better.
That's
All right.
fantastic.
They're making a comeback. by
Are
the
they?
way. 6-point game.
Hey, good for them. All right, let's talk Thunder Nuggets. We talked a lot last night about Thunder Nuggets, but the 2 most important podcasters weren't here, JD Silva and Nick Crane. So you 2 get to have a conversation while the rest of us sit back and just listen and make fun of you. Nick, let's start here. Your thoughts on the Thunder offense versus the Nuggets defense. What are some big thoughts, lineups, matchups, themes, strategies, places where the Thunder can succeed, places where the Nuggets defense is going to give them issues? Like, what do you got there?
This is now 11 questions.
You don't got to answer all of them. I'm just giving you examples.
Okay. Like, give us your broad thoughts on these 11 very specific things in this
Go
order.
point by point.
Biggest thought of the series, matchup related. I think Aaron Gordon is the weirdest, wonkiest, hardest to figure out X factor in this series. In theory, his versatility, I know he's maybe dealing with some injury stuff over the last couple of weeks, but like, he's a matchup nightmare in a lot of ways. Like there's a world where I see him not matching up well with OKC with their front court size. And if he has to slide down and guard Thunder's wings, there's some wings on this team I don't think he can guard, especially if you watch the perimeter. But on the flip side, there's also a world where he's like this puzzle piece that Oklahoma City can't figure out. And he like changes the entire series. Not like a PJ Washington per se, but like that size and type of player where he's like a power forward in the traditional sense, but can kind of slide around and do a lot of things on both ends. I just think I don't necessarily know what my big thoughts on him are. I just think he's an interesting puzzle piece to all this that maybe isn't being talked about enough. There's going to be all the Jokić and Jamal Murray, like all that talk's going to happen. But I think he's the guy that I'm thinking the most about entering the series.
I listened to a lot of Nuggets pods today.
Did you?
And I had a similar thought, and I could see Aaron Gordon being a guy that gives Dub some fits throughout the series. Like we talked a lot last night about the importance of Dub. His role in the first series against Memphis was huge. I could see Gordon's length being an issue. Don't you dare, Mr.
Can I get a Riz sounder?
Anyway,
JD,
I
anytime
could see
someone
that.
says anything questionable like that, just pop a Riz sounder, please.
I could see that being a challenge. That's all I have to say about that.
I did find this stat interesting. This is from Matt Moore, HP Basketball. Kawhi was only 2 of 6 when defended by Aaron Gordon in Game 7. The Nuggets were plus 31 when Gordon was on the court versus Leonard. I think he definitely, we talked about him potentially being a primary defender on Shai. Nuggets fans pushed back on that pretty heavy and said, Christian Brown, good luck with that. I would not be shocked to see Aaron Gordon get minutes on Shai, but also for J-Dub. That's something to kind of keep in mind.
Yeah.
I think about, too, we talked last night about, potentially doubling Jokić and the opportunity you have to be able to do so with players like iHeart and Chet on the floor at the same time, but that will leave opportunities open for the Aaron Gordons to go backdoor and get those backdoor cuts. So I think that's a good point, Nick.
I think with Gordon, something to watch is trying to put him in as much ball screen action as humanly possible. Given the Nuggets centers, if you will, the guys who'd be guarding Hartenstein, who is probably the best screen setter on the Thunder. I don't think they're going to switch in pick and roll settings. I think they're going to show or hedge or do something that's not switching. And I just think a guy like Aaron Gordon, who's been dealing with some injuries recently, and I just think you just screen him to hell and make him run around the court defending whoever he's guarding in that pick and roll action.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on all that Aaron Gordon stuff, Nick. That was kind of, I mostly want to talk about the positives or what I perceive as positives against this team, but to quickly touch on that, yeah, the size of the Nuggets are kind of it. There are times where we'll go into a game with Lou Dort, who a lot of people would consider him like the best perimeter defender, where he's like, who is Lou Dort going to guard tonight? That's a question we've asked ourselves a bunch this season. And the Nuggets are going to do that with the Nuggets are going to do that with Aaron Gordon as well, where he is their best defender, but he's also not an optimal defender against this Thunder team. Like SGA, now to swing to the positives, no one on that team can guard SGA. Christian Brown's going to try. Peyton Watson's probably going to try. Aaron Gordon's going to try. Not ideal. SGA's numbers against the Nuggets this season are completely insane. And then you talk about who's going to guard. If there's no one to guard Shai, who's going to guard J-Dub? Chet, there's some more answers for that. That's kind of I wouldn't be shocked if Aaron Gordon guarded Chet for some of the game as well. But there's just so many good things about the Thunder offense in this matchup that I think I can count on. And I don't know how Denver answers it. I feel pretty good in this series in general. We all talked about the Nuggets being like out of the Clippers and Nuggets. We'd want to see the Nuggets for a lot of reasons that we're now discussing. It's just obviously it's a mismatch on offense.
Nick, what do you think about? We've talked about they have nobody to guard SGA,
which, to be clear, is a problem for almost every team in the league.
Yeah,
that's not a Nuggets thing.
Absolutely. I would assume there's going to be a lot of blitzing Shai pick and rolls. So the Thunder are going to get to play that 4-on-3 game with the release valve being Hart or Chet. I actually love the Thunder going single big with Chet and then running a lot of pick and pops, try to get Jokić out on the perimeter. But Nick, is going zone for long stretches of time a viable option for Denver that could slow down the Thunder's offense?
I don't think zone in the NBA for long stretches is ever viable in most cases. I think a few minutes of it here and there could disrupt some flow. I think we'll probably see some zone in this series. I would be surprised if it's more than 3 minutes at a time, like maybe like 3 possessions at a time where they're just trying to muck things up and switch things. But I don't see them playing like a quarter of zone.
Taylor? I just want the word.
I was like, yeah, I agree.
I'll take that cue.
I've been using that quite a bit too when we talk about Caruso and Kaysen.
Silva, whenever you were just talking about like they don't have anybody to guard Shai, he should cook. Like, what are some other advantages you see that the Thunder have offensively against this Nuggets team? Maybe it's starters, maybe it's bench players. Like, I don't know, but what else do you see that the Thunder can maybe exploit here?
Yeah, the Nuggets, they have the best player in the series. I will say that, but the Thunder have like way more playable NBA players on their team. The Nuggets have like 5 or 6 that they really trust in a given series, and the Thunder have 10, 9. So much. This is the ultimate test of like this team has way more good players. This team does not, but they have the best player. This is like the ultimate test of that, it feels like. And I, just judging on what I've seen in the playoffs so far this year, last year also, that's kind of the trend now. The team that has better depth is going to win these games, even if the top end talent is not like the NBA is too good now just to rely on top end talent to win you multiple playoff series, especially against a team as good as the Thunder.
That was the most interesting thing that stood out to me listening to the Nuggets pods. Now, granted, it was mostly reactions to like Game 7. They're feeling very good about the others on their team right now. Like this was consistent. I listened to like 3 different pods, every single one. They're feeling very good. It's not deep. They all acknowledge it's not deep, but the performances they've gotten from Russ, from Christian Brown, from MPJ, from Aaron Gordon, everybody that's not Jokic and Murray, they're very high on. And it reminded me a lot, honestly, of the conversations Thunder fans were having when the Memphis series wrapped. Shai didn't have a good series, but the other guys all stepped up and it didn't matter. There was a lot of that sentiment around this Nuggets-Clippers series. Murray was okay. Jokic had a good game, but kind of just won. And the rest of the series was just okay. And they still found a way to win. I see the encouragement in that. I do still think depth is going to be a big factor in this series, like you said.
Can I ask you a question, Justin?
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard a lot of crazy things on your Nuggets podcast adventure today.
I did indeed.
Were there 1, 2, 3 things that you heard that was like, you know what, that's actually interesting perspective. You're not just blowing smoke out of your butt. I think that's a solid take and something we should consider in the series.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one. That was a big one that stood out to me, was how they're feeling about the depth of the guys that have played. I think that the grittiness that they showed, I mean, especially in Game 7, Jokic didn't play well in that game. Didn't need to, but didn't play well. I think you can feel good about that. It's like I said, the same conclusions we made as Thunder fans of like, well, everybody else went off. All you need is Shai to get going and it's over. You could say the same for the Nuggets and Jokic right now. If all their role guys are playing well and then Jokic turns on, it's tough to beat, which is totally fair. I think some other things that they mentioned specifically that I thought was really interesting about MPJ. I wasn't as like intimately familiar with his situation. I think this will be one to definitely monitor. We noticed the big shoulder pad that he was wearing in Game 7. I guess post game he talked about getting an injection in that shoulder that day.
I heard he can't even take his jersey off without help.
That it helps, but it is extremely painful afterwards, and he doesn't want to do it very often. He had a great stat line in Game 7. I would not count on that. Yeah, I would not count on that consistently based on that anecdote of like if he's having to get an injection to be playable, you're not going to get 7 games of
smooth off the top row.
Well played, chat. That one stood out to me. The quote about Christian Brown's defense, I thought was interesting. So they're very high on Brown guarding SGA in this.
Noted series. That from the comments.
From the comments, right? There. This was backed up by the podcast. So very interesting.
Think they are very high.
Well, Denver after all. Yeah. There was a quote from Brown after Game 7 where he talked about how Russ really mentored him in that series and helped him see things defensively. I thought that was kind of cool. Also makes sense, right? Like I could totally see that being a real factor. Again, I think that like no offense to James Harden, but 2025 James Harden is just not the same defensive experience as it used to be. And Harden went off a couple times. Like, and they acknowledge that. Like Brown was really good, especially in Game 7, but he also had some lapses. Those lapses are going to feel real loud against if you're the primary point of attack defender on SGA.
If Russell Westbrook is the one giving you advice defensively, Godspeed.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Godspeed.
Fair.
But hey, a counterpoint though, from a Thunder perspective, talking about some of these role players stepping up, and they're exactly right when they talked about the role players and how critical they were for that Series 1 win against the Clippers. But I came across this stat today. In the non-Jokic minutes, when Jokic was off the floor for the Nuggets this past series, I think it was like 60-something minutes, so not a ton. But the Nuggets had a -27 net rating. That's awful.
That's interesting.
So Jokic is going to have to play a lot of minutes, especially if the Nuggets, like we talked about last night, are only going to continue to rotate through like 7.5 players throughout the series.
Guys, let's flip the coin to the other side. Again, kind of want to get JD and Nick's comments here, and we can chime in as well. Let's go Thunder defense versus Denver offense. JD, what do you see there? What are you looking for? How do you think that matchup fares?
I think it fares very well. All due respect to the Clippers, I think the Thunder defense is just in a much different league. Like Chris Dunn is kind of their guy on the Denver guards, and the Thunder have like 4 of that type of player, but better. I think it's just it's going to be a completely different ball game for guys like Russell Westbrook, Jamal Murray, whoever else. MPJ is going to have someone on him that he's going to be feeling the shoulder for sure. I don't know. I feel really, really good. I felt good about the offense. I might feel better about the defense. I think that they went out and got a guy like Hartenstein specifically for this matchup, to be honest.
Yep.
Check and roam and help. We saw it in the regular season. I feel pretty good. Am I like Denver fans too high?
Only you can answer that. We do have a super chat that I think you prompted,
Oh yeah.
Silva. Skelton says moratorium on Jokic is the best player. Stop it.
Okay.
Noted.
I think the Thunder's defense is best when they turn other teams over. It's not like a hot take. That's just how defense generally works when you're disruptive. The Thunder's offense is very good when they get those turnovers and get out in transition. I think Denver has a lot of theoretical playmakers. I think Russ still has some playmaking chops. Jamal Murray can play make. Jokic is obviously one of the best in the world at playmaking. But Denver has been a turnover-prone team at times this year. I think they were bottom half of the league in turnovers in the regular season. I have no clue what they've done in the playoffs on that front, but you can definitely turn them over. And I think the Thunder's defense against their offense, like you could go matchup by matchup, scenario by scenario. But if Oklahoma City turns them over 15 plus times, I think it's a wrap in any game this series.
So
Denver was. Oh, go ahead, Taylor.
13.9 turnovers per game. Let me make sure this is playoffs. Yeah, 13.9 turnovers per game in the playoffs.
In the playoffs.
Round one, so right in the first series against the Clippers. And you talk about a defensive team in the Thunder who are even better defensively than the Clippers are. That's like we talked about last night, right? Like if Jokic does have the ball, I think the key is not to just completely hone in on Jokic, but having those defenders like Lou Dort, Kaysen, Alex Caruso out there to be able to just disrupt the passing lanes to get out into transition. I can't talk like you mentioned, Nick.
13.9 is not horrible to be clear.
Hey, for context, 13.9 is 11th of 16 in the first round. The team that the Thunder played averaged 19. Now some of that is
bad.
Some of that
That's
is Memphis's
really bad.
personnel. Some of that is the Thunder defense.
Yeah, right.
When you look at steals, just steals, the Thunder averaged 11 a game in round one. Both those things trend towards Oklahoma City.
15 is the number to me.
Yeah,
I'll buy that. We
That's
got
good stuff.
another super chat from our guy Alan showing some confidence. So ready to watch more OKC games again. Feels like it's been forever. I really hope we sweep them, but I think we win in 5, and I won't be mad at that at all.
If they win in 5, we should be pretty ecstatic.
I agree.
Totally. In order to move on to a little more of some broader picture stuff, and again, we did another preview pod last night, so you can go listen to that. But JD and Nick, we didn't get your answers on this, so this is a simple exercise. Finish the sentence. Nick, you're first. Denver wins the series if.
I'll stick with my last thought. If they take care of the ball, like really take care of the ball, like if they're 11 turnovers a game, they're probably in pretty good shape.
JD, Denver wins the series if
their size limits the Thunder role players.
Okay. Nick, the Thunder win the series if
There's a laundry list of things you'd say here.
This is a much easier question, it feels like.
If they play anything like they did in the regular season and the first round, just play Thunder basketball like we've seen for 86 games now.
JD.
Can I cheat and use the same answer? Like, can they play if they play to their standard? I think they just win.
We're gonna talk about it more, and the series is not going to be an easy one. I just don't think it's going to be as competitive as people think. I really don't.
I don't think anyone believes this series will be like the Memphis one
No.
at all. But
No, not at all.
the Thunder, all regular season, were a lot better than every other team in the West. And we are moving into the postseason with that same kind of mentality, I think.
I think Nuggets fans have right to feel more positive about their team coming out of this first round than they did for most of April, March, right? Like they fell off hard. But is their ceiling right now higher than it was in the middle of the season when they were up around the 2 seed? I don't think so.
No.
Yep.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Like, how long can you ride the Russell Westbrook experience?
Exactly. There's so many.
And
more
with
variables.
Russ coming back to Oklahoma City, like, does that make him play better, or is he overly emotional and plays worse?
I think
know.
the
Seen that
latter.
in the past. Yep.
I don't
We've seen
know.
it.
But like that I understand their reason for optimism, and I think it's totally valid.
Yeah.
I have a hard time feeling confident in betting on that over the course of a 7-game series with the Thunder.
Especially,
Absolutely.
like we keep saying, coming off limited rest, a 7-game series, and only one night of rest yet again for the Thunder, and now the Nuggets in this round 2 series. That's huge.
Like, the West was very, 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 very good this year. The Nuggets and Clippers both could have fallen to the play-in with a couple of extra losses. Respect Denver. They have the best player in the world. They have a lot of things to like about them, but they were not in the same stratosphere as the Thunder this season.
They fired their coach, like like Memphis fired their coach, and their coach
that was
like a
really
cartoon
interesting.
character, I found out.
That was really interesting listening to the Nuggets pods today, their perspective on that. They were all positive about that change, which is, I think, very different than the Memphis soundbite. Like, I think Memphis fans weren't like not mad about it. They hired the guy, but it was a very different situation where basically the conclusion they were drawing, again, easy to do after you win a playoff series, but the team looks like they're playing together more than they did for most of the season. Like, most of the season, they felt disjointed, like a bunch of guys just out there doing their own thing, not working together. And that Clippers series, they really kind of pulled together, and they felt like maybe the leadership change had something to do with that. So I think that'd be interesting to watch.
Is that tension's
Is
gone.
that regular season and now the playoffs are here and you just kind of crank things up, or is that actually the coach firing up a bunch of 30-year-old men?
No, but I do think there is something to that point about just that tension being released, and that no longer having Calvin Booth and Michael Malone.
That post Mike Clarity.
Their
Silva, can I get a Riz?
You can.
I should have gone with his last name. It's Post Malone Clarity.
That's amazing.
There you go.
So
Their
close.
coach looks like someone tried to draw me with a blindfold on.
Now we're throwing out insults. Nuggets fans are fired up. You're right.
Good.
He does not look like an NBA head coach.
No.
All right. Well, hey, last thing for the predictions. Well, not last, second to last thing for our predictions for this podcast, or for this series on this podcast. I'm just all over the place. Silva's got me. Silva's got me reeling. Silva's crystal ball.
Boy.
Yes.
Can we zoom in on this?
Do what? You want me to zoom in?
Yes.
I don't know how to do that.
Come on, Grandpa.
I'm sharing the image, not sharing my screen, so I don't think I can zoom in on it. But
Can you see my screen? It's
Command plus,
I
brother.
can't even read this.
Oh boy, whatever.
Man,
all right, we each made a prophecy for round 2. We've looked deep into the crystal ball. JD, you got a crystal ball sounder over there?
Once upon a time I did.
We had
but
the
I do-
alien
I
sounder.
do have this.
Yeah. Perfect.
I also made this my Twitter profile picture.
I love that.
All right, so we each made a prophecy. I will start with mine. My prophecy is that Caruso is on the floor closing every game of the series, unless it's like a 30-point blowout in which the second squad is in. I've got Caruso closing every game of the series. Justin, what is your prophecy for round 2?
Mine is that J-Dub will be the leading Thunder scorer in one game this series. if you're keeping score at home, that's something that in games that everybody plays or SGA plays, at least, that's happened once in like the last 8 weeks.
Did not happen first round.
Did not happen first round, even though Shai didn't play well.
Does anybody know who the only player to be the leading scorer not named SGA was in round 1?
Yes, because we
And
talked about it last
played
night.
basketball. Nick
Hey-
doesn't listen to the pod.
Aaron Wiggins.
Typical.
Oh, I did
Taylor-
listen to it last night.
Taylor, what's your
He
prophecy?
just doesn't
You-
remember.
You weren't. Shocker. I said last night that Chet would have at least 2 games with 4 or more blocks this series.
I love it. JD, what's your prophecy?
You guys haven't heard this one. This one's
Nope.
pretty insane. Last series, I predicted that Chet would have more points than Desmond Bane, which he did in the series. In this one, I'm predicting J-Dub scores more points than Jamal Murray. Nick
I
hates
like
that
that.
one.
That's
I
fun.
love
I
that
know.
one.
I know. Nick
Here's
hates
the
that one.
thing. I didn't really get to say this. I can't remember if I said it last night. I'm going to say it tonight. It feels like for the Nuggets to win a game in this series, in that game, they need big nights from both Jokic and Murray. Like, I think a big Jokic game and a Murray dud, there's not enough extra juice on the rest of that roster to get them a win. Murray's going to be guarded by Lou Dort, J-Dub, Alex Caruso, and Kaysen Wallace. Like, I don't know if he's going to get loose. Nick, what is your prophecy for the series?
It's a good thing I remember what I put down because I can't read what's on the screen here.
All right, Grandpa, get some glasses.
I said that in this series, both Shai and Jokic will have a 50-point game.
Ooh,
Wowie.
spicy. I like it. Podcast.
All
for
right.
Rants, Connor.
You guys want to take a break, come back, do trivia, look at round 1 predictions, where we're at with that, and then make round 2 predictions?
Yes.
Yo,
Awesome. We will be right back. And guess what? Taylor still doesn't have a whiteboard. We are back, and it's time to do some Prairie Artisan Ales trivia. Justin, when can people go to Prairie and play trivia?
They can go on Sundays, like today at 4:30 p.m. There was another round of trivia. Always a good time. Get some Prairie beers, enjoy some trivia questions, try to win some prizes. Have a blast. Drink some new beers. They've had some new releases come out recently. They did a banana colada, which sounds insane. A sour ale with bananas,
pina
coconuts,
colada with banana?
and vanilla wafers. And then they also have everybody likes to get in the chat about how we talk about the sours a lot because I love sours. Drinking one right now. But they also have the return of the bourbon barrel aged weekend. It's an imperial stout with chocolate, vanilla, toasted coconut, and marshmallows.
I don't
So if you're-
drink beer, but that sounds Christmassy and good.
If you're of the dark beer
now's the
variety,
time,
check it
Jacob.
out.
That sounds
drink
wonderful.
10 of them and report back. Tell us how it was.
Maybe don't.
Jacob, if the Thunder win a chip, will you like Stone Cold Steve Austin 2 like light beers from Prairie, just like crush them and
I will
Shotgun.
do it. My
With your
assumption-
Caruso headband and jersey on, preferably.
My assumption is that when the Thunder win the finals, we're all going to be downtown at the parade. We're going to be getting tons of video. We're going to podcast from down there. So for the video, I will absolutely Stone Cold Stunner 2 beers
I love that.
I
with
love it.
with an unlit cig in my mouth,
Even better.
or I'll have one tucked behind my ear.
I
Or
was going to
something.
say, how are you going to stone cold with the cig in your mouth?
He'll figure it out.
gonna,
Be
I
a
don't know.
third arm.
I'll do it, JD. I'll do it. All right, you guys ready for some trivia?
yes.
Yes.
As usual, these trivia questions come from the homie Rob on the Discord. None of these questions have been vetted. So if you have a problem, take it up with Rob. Join the Discord, pay us
Take
money,
it up with Rob.
and you can take it up with Rob. Question number 1. Which 2 current NBA teams have never swept an opponent in a playoff series?
Oh.
Of the 30, which 2 have never swept?
oh my.
Hmm.
Do you want a hint?
No.
I was gonna say
I'm
yes.
gonna say yes.
It's a 2 out of 30. Just Put
Yeah.
down. It's not like it's a number
Carl
1 through
is-
100.
Carl is out of pocket in the chat right now.
I'm just gonna guess the shitters.
I don't feel good about the second one.
When all else fails, guess the shitters.
All right, I got my answers.
All right, show them and read them.
I just have chicken scratch, but I can read mine off.
Do you want me to? Who's starting? I
Did I
can't
say
see my
whiz
screen.
carrots?
Wiz the Hornets.
I
JD,
think we-
Wizards, Hornets.
I said Grizzlies, Hornets.
I
Nick,
said Kings, Hornets.
We
That's
all said
Kings is a
Hornets.
good one.
It better be the Hornets.
the answer: the Memphis Grizzlies,
Yes.
Wow.
the LA Clippers.
Oh,
Interesting.
That's a good guess.
Wow.
That's a good guess.
They are a shitter in plain sight.
A porta potty, if you will.
Yep.
We need an image of that now.
Sometimes Taylor just like unironically just comes out with an absolute banger.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Like it, Taylor, we all
It's always
love
out
you.
of nowhere.
It's like 1 out of every 50. But when you hit it out of the freaking park.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't
You're-
take.
Yeah, you're like Adam
Absolutely.
Flagler.
I'm like Dion Waiters. The Dion Waiters
There
of the
you go.
podcast.
Luhan lives in my head rent free. Here's a fun one by Rob. I think this stat has been making the rounds, so you guys might know this one. But since 2001, 15 teams have swept another team and then met an opponent in the next series who went 7 games. You following me so far?
Yes.
What is the record of the sweeping team in the next series?
First one up wins. and I won.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
man.
fake
I was writing
rule.
down 14
Come
still.
on.
Yeah, we all
14.
saw that.
Everyone
14
got it
and
right.
one.
14 and 1.
We did
Joe
it.
Masato, the Oklahoman.
We did
I think
it, Joe.
I think dating back to the 80s, it's 15 and 3 out of 18 games, I think. So
Interesting.
Bodes
Joe,
well.
Joe may have cherry picked a little bit on the stat, but we love you, Joe.
Still works.
Rob
Keep
in the
hitting this
chat.
millennium.
Rob in the chat is secretly Joe Masato. Question 3.
like it.
Can you name the team that won against the norm, or the teams that went against the norm in question number 2? It was 14 and 1.
Ooh.
Who played in the 1?
Okay, I was going to say you said teams.
Yeah, so like
But
the,
it's just
the
one.
2 teams that played each other.
Oh, both.
One. So yeah, give me the teams. One team went
Got it.
4-0, another team 1 and 7. They met. Who were those 2 teams?
I'm now regretting not reading that article as closely as I did.
Oh God.
You want a hint?
No. I feel
Got it.
okay about this. I don't know
Okay.
why.
Okay. JD, what you got?
I got Pelicans Warriors. The year that the Drew Holiday just destroyed Dame and CJ.
That was the first round series, so you're automatically wrong.
No, I know, but I was talking about the next series.
Oh, I think you misunderstood the question, but you're still wrong.
Damn it.
Justin,
I said Dubs over Clippers, but I can already see that Taylor got it right.
Heat Spurs finals when Ray Allen had the
Yeah.
insane shot, the Chris
That was it.
Bosh rebound kicking out to Ray.
Nick, what'd you have?
Same.
Okay. Yep.
It's
not.
like Grizzlies and Mavs. I read the article.
Yeah, Taylor got it right.
Shout out Joe.
Yeah.
I swear, there's not enough hours in the day for the number of articles Taylor
I
reads and
agree.
podcasts he listens
know.
to.
The man just consumes content.
Taylor's like
I'm a
limitless in
content
real life.
machine.
Spurs swept the Grizzlies. Heat beat Pacers in 7, and then Heat beat Spurs in the finals in 7. Of the 14 wins and that 14 and 1, here's how that broke down. The sweeping team won in a sweep again 4 times. They won 4-1 7 times. They won 4-2 3 times. And then the only time it went 7 was the time that the previous sweeping team lost.
Is that a question or a statement?
No, that was just giving you some additional content.
I was trying to process that. Like, I don't even know what
Yeah.
to write down.
I was just letting you know what happened in those series, Nick.
Nick turns up around his whiteboard and it just says like 7.
I don't know if it was a number or a team.
Four
What,
and a
what am I
half.
even guessing?
All right. You guys ready for some predictions?
Yes.
Before we
Yes.
Get out of here.
Born ready.
Let's look at. Well, first we got to give an update. Hey, the Rockets are only down 10 with 5 minutes to go. There is a chance they scored
Anything could
70
happen.
72 points with 5 minutes to
I
go
don't
in the
think
game.
either of these teams wants to win. Like,
No.
jeez.
Yuck.
I
Game
think
sevens.
I think both of these teams are headed to the slaughterhouse next round, for being honest. Okay, a quick overview. OKC Memphis series. Everyone took OKC in 5 except for me. I was the
Heyo.
smart one. I got 3 points. Everyone else got 1. Lakers Minnesota. Everyone took the Lakers except for me. You're starting to realize
Wow.
who the smart one on this show is. I got 1 point. Everyone else got 0.
Wow.
Denver Clippers. Everyone took Clippers except for Nick and I. I took Denver in 6. Nick took Denver in 7. Good job, Nick. Nick got
the
3
smart
points.
one.
I got 1. If you're keeping track at home, JD's got 1 point. Justin's got 1 point. Taylor's got 1 point. Nick has 4. I have 5.
Well, son of a bitch.
Let's go to the East. Cleveland, Miami. Everyone took Cleveland. Justin and Nick took him in 5. The rest of us took him in 4. So JD, Taylor, and myself got 3 points. Justin and Nick got 1.
Bang.
Back on the board.
Boston versus Orlando. We all took Boston. JD and Nick took the sweep. They got 1 point. Justin, Taylor, and myself, we all took Boston in 5. We got 3 points.
Heyo. About time.
Knicks versus Pistons. We all took Knicks.
Knicks in 6.
We all took Knicks in 6, except for me. I took Knicks in 5.
Way to go, dummy.
Man, Detroit, you could see like the lack of playoff experience. Just poop their pants every fourth quarter.
Yep.
And then Indiana, Milwaukee. Everyone took Indiana except for Taylor, who went Milwaukee.
Bucks.
We all got 1 point in that one.
True to the brand.
That's
Trying to
right.
do the math real quick. 6, 7, 8. JD has 9 points.
Let's
I
go.
have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Justin has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Taylor has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Got
8, 9,
10.
10. Nick has 4, 5, 6, 9, 10.
But
But
I have Golden State in 7, and that would put me over the top, I believe.
yes,
that's a
everyone
good
else had
one.
Houston. I
Hey.
have Houston in 7. Taylor has Houston in 7. JD and Justin are cooked in that
So
one.
I know ball most.
Well, you got
Through
5 more.
1 round, buddy.
You
Tap
got
the
3
brakes.
minutes and 48 seconds.
That game is probably Jover. They're down by Rockets down by 10 with 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Buddy Hill
Jover.
game. Buddy Buckets. Jover
All right.
again.
Let's do the next round, gentlemen. We're going to start with Cavs Pacers because that series has already started. Pacers already up 1-0. That was surprising to me.
Darius
we-
Garland. Unfortunately, that toe injury seems to be a little more significant than we all were
Hey,
thinking.
you know who else had a toe injury? Austin
AJ
Reeves.
Mitchell.
Austin
Well,
Reeves, that's right.
Austin Reeves. And LeBron had a knee injury, and Luka had a tummy ache. That's why they lost. I hate the Lakers.
Agreed.
Cleveland, Indy. We all sent our predictions into our group chat today, but gentlemen, tell everybody what you took, starting with Nick.
For which one? OKC Denver?
Cleveland, Indiana.
Did you just
Oh.
have a stroke?
No, I looked out on my phone to check the score, and then I looked up, and he said, "We'll start with Nick."
Cleveland Pacers.
Cleveland Pacers. I had Cleveland in 6.
Cleveland in 6. Okay, Taylor, what'd you take?
I had Cleveland in 5, unfortunately.
Yikes. I had Cleveland in 6 as well.
I took Cleveland in 5. And JD?
Cleveland in 6.
Nice.
Oof.
Gave
Let's
no
go to
credit
the other
Pistons.
Eastern Conference series. Boston versus the New York Knicks. JD, we're starting with you on this one.
Boston in 5.
I'm also going Boston in 5. Justin?
I am also going Boston in 5.
Taylor.
I'll go Boston in 6 then. Switch things up.
Nick.
Boston in 6.
Okay. Let's go to the Western Conference. The Minnesota Timberwolves versus what I'm assuming is going to be the Golden State Warriors. We are now down to 3:33 left in the game. Warriors are up 10. We're going to assume they win. So Minnesota versus Golden State, Nick.
Timberwolves in 6.
Taylor.
Retweet.
Justin.
Wolves in 7.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Whoa.
I'm going to go. Man. Give me Wolves in.
He's going to say 5.
Say it. Just
Give me-
say it.
Give me Wolves sweep.
Oh, my.
Ooh,
Give me the
spicy.
Wolves sweep. JD.
Wow.
Wolves in 5, which I thought I was going to be the courageous one taking them in 5, and then you just,
I wanted to go a little
Cut me off
hot
on the
take-ish
highway.
there.
I like it.
I like the matchup for the Wolves, man.
I
Like,
do too.
we'll see what happens because, Draymond could put multiple people in a chokehold.
Probably will.
But I think Julius Randle is going to go straight at Draymond, which is going to be fun. I think the Ant Jimmy Butler matchup is going to be a blast. I think the Wolves are that much better, guys. I'm just going to shoot you straight.
The Wolves have a knack, and Anthony Edwards, I think, have a knack of exposing teams for who they really are in the playoffs. And he did that
True.
last year. He's doing that this year.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the Wolves are going to have enough stinkers. Like if Jaden McDaniels, like if he continues to be hot from outside and you continue to get good games from Julius Randle, then sure. But I just think they're going to have a couple games where that doesn't all come together. Ant's still off for a game or two. And that's why I could see it being a little longer of a series than it should be.
If Rudy has a 25 and 25 game again versus Draymond Green, the amount of shit posting that I'm going to do might get me on an FBI watch list.
Here for it.
As much as you hate Rudy Gobert, though.
Yes.
Yes.
There's going to be some scraps in that series.
100%.
You know who I really don't like? The little white guy for Golden State that's got the mustache.
Pods?
Cam Spencer?
Quentin
Yeah.
Post?
Quentin
Oh,
Post.
Cam Spencer.
Spencer.
Is he the one that played lacrosse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get that shit out of here, man. Go play lacrosse, you.
With Christian Brown. Christian Brown totally is a lacrosse player.
Did you guys see Shea Serrano's tweet that said Christian
Yes.
Brown's jumper told me I need to be deported?
That's crazy.
All right. Thunder versus the Denver Nuggets. Give us Taylor, I need you to listen carefully here. Give us your 2 to 3 sentence thesis statement on the series
Poor Taylor.
and then your prediction. Justin, you're first.
Oh, you faked me out again. You did
I
this the
know.
last time.
Pump
Like,
fake.
listen up, Taylor. Now, Justin, you go. I think this series is, we've said it from the jump. It's a much different series than the Grizzlies series. I don't think we're going to see a 50-point blowout tomorrow night. I don't think you're going to see Thunder starters resting fourth quarters very often in this series. I think it's going to be an extremely competitive series. You're going to get the two best players in basketball going toe to toe, which is going to be a blast. And you're going to get to see how the Thunder's depth matches up against Denver's role players who've been playing pretty solid lately. Ultimately, though, I think it will be highly competitive. I'm picking Thunder in 6.
I like how I needed Taylor to hear the 2 to 3 sentence thesis statement.
Oh my gosh.
And then Justin gave us his dissertation.
Yeah. Like Connor says, here comes some run-on sentences. Show me where the punctuation is.
I was going to say, Justin and I know how to use comments.
Jacob wants us to do a haiku.
Semicolon, hyphen, you
I need a
name it.
haiku.
We can make this work.
Taylor, rub it in Justin's face that you are a better,
Listener.
more eloquent and
Wow.
efficient speaker. Give us your thesis statement and then your prediction.
I also have Thunder in 6, and I think the reason for that, I just messed that up already. You said
Yep, you
use a
did.
statement first.
Literally the first 3 words. You already tanked it.
All right,
Thunder
JD.
in 6. We just like putting Jacob on the spot.
That's awesome.
I think there's going to be a couple games where the Thunder role players aren't hitting their shots, especially on the road, which will make it. I mean, I don't think you can win those games like you did against Memphis, but ultimately the Thunder have the depth. I don't think the experience matters as much. And like we talked about, the matchups just are in OKC's favor. So Thunder in 6.
Nick Crane.
I think that the series will start 3-1. I think that it'll be all Thunder for the first 4 games for the most part. I think Denver will get one of those first 4. I think it'll ultimately go 6. Thunder will win in 6. I think there's a lot of 6-game series that are really close, where it's like maybe OKC's last year where they were a fouled corner 3 away from going 7. I think there's other 6-game series that the 6 games didn't feel nearly as competitive. And like, it was like a 3-1 scenario where Denver makes it 3-2, then Thunder blow them out in game 6. It was like, that was 6, but it wasn't really close. That's how this series will be, in my opinion.
JD.
I just think the Thunder have a lot more playable players in their depth. I think that this is going to be revenge. They didn't play them. They didn't play the Nuggets last year in the second round, but I think the Thunder still feel that hurt from the second round last year, and they're going to come out in a blaze of glory and win this in 5 games.
Hey-o.
Nice. My thesis statement is pretty straightforward. I think the Thunder have a better overall offense. I think the Thunder have a better overall defense. I think the Thunder are younger, more rested. They got dogs on the chain right now, foaming at the mouth, full of rabies and all sorts of craziness. And tomorrow the chain comes off. People have talked rest versus rust. Here's the thing. The rust is like the jump shot is off. There's no rust on just being a feral animal, going nuts on the defensive end, playing like you want to beat somebody's balls like a drum. And I think that's what happens early in this series. I got Thunder in 5. I'm with Nick. It starts 3-1. I think specifically it goes for the Thunder win-win, loss, win-win. I think that game 3, that Friday night, they will lose in Denver. I think they win a close, hard-fought battle on Sunday and come home and finish it off in game 5.
I got asked about the beat their balls like a drum thing yesterday.
This is your legacy.
He's like, why do people keep saying that?
Where'd you get asked at?
Girlfriend asked me. She's like,
Oh, boy.
Oh.
like, I heard on your
Why do people keep
podcast.
saying that to you?
I heard on the
Did you-
podcast Jacob say beat their balls like a drum. Where did that come from?
Did you tell her she can beat your balls like a drum?
No.
No,
All
I
right,
did
play the
not.
outro music.
That's why Jacob
Alright.
wore the headband.
Let me make sure I click this. So here's the issue right now. Just a little peek behind the curtain. I have 2 sounders unlabeled. One of them is Whoop That Trick. One of them is the outro.
Roll the dice.
50-50.
We're good.
Hey, well done.
Hey. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in to the Uncontested. We appreciate you. Again, if you haven't already, follow us on social media. Join the Patreon. In all honesty, I'm going to try to do this quick before the beat changes. And in all honesty, we're not getting done for the beat changes. We really, really appreciate all of you listeners. We love you guys. This isn't possible without you. It's been an absolute blast. We got 3 more rounds to go, though, so hang around with us. We're going to have a blast. Second round, Western Conference Finals, all on the come up. We'll see you Monday night after the Thunder hopefully go up 1-0 in the second round. Looking forward to it. As always, and until then, Thunder up.